have a problem. Oh no. So, I made a hole. Not a good chair. Let me switch chairs. So there I was, being utterly uninspired as to what to start this video with, but my chair came up with a solution. And now we know, do not use the white chair in the garden, for you will sink down into the mud. And maybe that's a good illustration to answer one of your questions. Someone wanted to know what I do if I don't have the motivation to work on a project. And next to motivation and inspiration, I think there is a third category needed to keep going on a project, and that is discipline. No, motivation, bursts of motivation and inspiration are great and all, but if you want to get good at a thing, like for now I want to become better, or well, I want to become good at a long draw bulky weight yarn, then motivation and inspiration aren't going to help me. I need discipline. I need not to give up whenever like there is no motivation or inspiration. Like honestly, today I'm lacking both, especially on the YouTube side of things. Like I'm pretty much motivated to spin, but I am feeling a little bit tired. I didn't get quite such a good night's rest, and I'm feeling tired. I have no motivation. Well, maybe I do have motivation, but I have no inspiration right now to do all the filming things. Like I have been sitting, like staring in my bowl of soup and thinking, but how do I start this video? I don't know how to start this video. But I started it anyway, and now that I'm doing it, it's actually turning out quite okay, right? I mean, between us, it could be worse, right? Like, I have done worse things, I have done worse intros and worse conversations. It's also like the 6th vlog of Tour de Fleece, so like the interest is probably waning. I see that every year with Tour de Fleece, like the first couple videos, boom, massive boom, but not everyone keeps following along for the entire Tour de Fleece, so it's just us right now, so I can say this. Now, when I say discipline and showing up to your project, I do not mean working yourself into a burnout. Nah-uh-uh, nah-uh-uh. You know me, I am the advocate of joy in crafting. If you are losing joy in your craft, in your project, I am hereby giving you the permission to shelve that project, store it away, put it in the naughty corner. If it is not giving you joy, if you are dreading working on it, then it is not worth it. But personally, sometimes on Fridays when I have to go to art school, I'm like, no, it's Friday. I don't want to get in my car and drive to art school. It'll be up until 10 o'clock in the evening. I just had to work all week. That's not me dreading the drawing. No, actually, I want to do the drawing, but I only know that when I'm there. I just don't want to do the driving, right? But when I am there in art school drawing, I'm having a great time. So as long as your project is giving you a great time, discipline is what you need. If you're frustrated and crying about your project, you can throw discipline through the window. Yeah, you can defenestrate discipline all you want. Right now, I'm showing up. I am showing discipline for this video, for this spin, and that is what is helping me overcome my lack of inspiration today. I hope that made sense. Now, to get a little bit amped up, hyped up, steal some inspiration, put it in my brain, I brought my list of questions that I wrote down from all the questions that you wrote down, and somehow it got wet, don't ask me how. And there were a couple of questions that I would categorize as weird, but like good weird, you know, that when I use weird and silly, it's with a positive connotation. And I thought, why not just quickfire a couple of those quote-unquote weird questions just to get our motor running? A question that was asked is, what is my favorite cheesecake? very specific, very weird. I love it. And my favorite cheesecake. So the tea place where we have our monthly craft get-together has a cheesecake with a speculaas bottom, or speculoos, technically, because it's Belgian. So the cheesecake with the speculaas bottom. Yes, I think the cheesecake itself is just the pure cheesecake flavor, but the speculaas on the bottom, it just makes it perfect. And do I have a favorite flower? Yes, of course I do. Everybody has a favorite flower, right? What is yours, actually? And I think mine would have be a cornflower. I really like seeing cornflowers and poppies, for that matter. But I've always been told that cornflowers are like have been on a point of extinction nearly in Belgium, and right now you can see them more and more in the cornfields, and my heart fills with so much joy, and it's like about to burst when I see a field full of cornflowers. It's just such a pretty, pretty flower. I know technically you could also dye with cornflowers. I have never tried that because I think it would be such a shame to pick it. Like, it's too pretty. I cannot pick a cornflower. Nope, nope. Now, I must have an addendum to this question. That's like my favorite flower in general. But if someone wants to give me flowers, white flowers in the daisy family, like gerberas, white gerberas or something, tis peak, also very, very beautiful. But not that same like wild, feral, heart-bursting effect that seeing a field of cornflowers has. If I were a piece of chocolate, what would I be? Now, I've already told you that my favorite piece of chocolate is a white manneaupraline. But like a white manneaupraline that is too delicate to be me, right? Like it's a delicious experience in your mouth, and I am probably not such a delicious experience in your mouth. But I think I would still be something with a praline filling, like either a white chocolate or a milk chocolate with a praline filling. I have once, silly story, but it befits a silly question. I have once cried over eating a white chocolate Easter egg with praline filling because I was so happy to be eating that Easter egg that I cried. Yeah. Now, someone asked the very poignant question, which superhero would be the best yarn spinner? And I think there is only one answer to this, and that is Spider-Man, and I will take no discussion for this. Now, before I am done spinning this bad, let's answer one more silly question. And that weird question is, do I have any spicy thoughts about Lord of the Rings? My spicy thought about Lord of the Rings might not be all that spicy. Please do not read Lord of the Rings in a translation. And I say this out of experience, because the Dutch translation actually makes Tolkien sound boring, and I could not get through the Two Towers. It's awful. And I've heard that other translations also do not do a great job at capturing the playfulness that Tolkien has with the English language. Like, you need to read Lord of the Rings in English if you can, please, because Tolkien is a master with words. I have been sitting giggling at sentence structures, like, how did he do that? It's amazing. He had such a way with words, and it just does not translate at all. Well, at least not in Dutch. Maybe you have other experiences, but my spicy opinion is, at least do not read the Dutch translation. It's just, I mean, no shade to the translators, but yeah, shade to the translators. Or maybe just shade to the Dutch language. Either one of the two. And a second, like a small opinion, a small spicy opinion that I have also about Dutch translation. I think it's a pity that they changed the name of the village of Bree. Like, we have a village named Bree. That would have been so great for tourism. No, in Dutch they made it breeg, with a G behind it. Why? Well, probably because that is breeg, but it would have been so cool. And then I would have really loved to see a cafe named The Prancing Pony in breeg. Missed opportunities, right? Missed opportunity. So it's 9 o'clock right now. My husband will not get home in another 20 minutes, so I think I'm just going to start flying. I might not finish this tonight, but then at least I have a head start for tomorrow. Now, not a spicy opinion about Lord of the Rings, but maybe some of you would like to know that my husband and I walked down the aisle on Concerning Hobbits. And we left church after getting married on the tunes of the Fellowship theme. So there was someone that asked, Lord of the Rings versus Narnia. I'm not even going to answer. I think you know the answer. So it is 9:20. I got a little bit of flying in. Very good, very good. So tomorrow I can continue and then have a skate. I will see you then. And Faramir is hotter than Aragorn. So for the past week or so, I have been taking my spindle to work with me to spin a little bit during my lunch break, which was honestly the highlight of my day. And right now, I am done with the singles. I have one final bit of chain plying ahead of me, and then my third skein is done. Then this project of finishing the 3 bats that I got from Mars is completed. Let's do that. Before we ply the zwartbles, let's ply this. Ta-da! Now my little gradient is finished. Yee! I think I'm going to make like a second pair of fingerless mittens out of this. I think that would look really cool and like goblin-esque, and yeah. I really like these 3 together. Just look so good. And now let's get down to business. To the feet, the hands. As we are stranded on Ply Island, once more, maybe it is time to get a little bit philosophical. Someone asked the question, and I thought this was a really interesting question. Would there be a moment in my life that I would like a do-over with? And that do-over still implies that I have everything in my life right now. And I've been thinking long and hard about it, and I've got 2 things. My first is not as serious, I guess. I don't know if you know these fairs at the end of your high school where you've got all the universities and colleges. You can like ask questions and decide what you will study later. I deeply regret running away in fear when I was looking at the art university and they talked to me. As a teenager, I've always wanted to study art. I wanted to do something with my art. But my parents always told me, no, you are too smart, you are going to study Latin. So I did that. I studied 6 years of Latin, and then from my 4th year of high school onwards, I had this idea in my mind, I'm going to study history. I'm going to study history in university. You know, being on that sit-in, as it was called, you know, that penchant for art, it was stronger than myself. And I went to the Lucas School of Arts and looked at all the things, but when they talked to me, it was a freeze, fight and fawn reaction, all 3 together. And I kind of ran away. And then in 2021, 2022, somewhere around that, my husband and I started watching a Netflix docu-series called Abstract, and it followed like artists in their daily life and what they had studied and everything. I cried after every episode because I had such a deep regret about that one moment where I didn't listen to what people of the art school had to say and didn't reconsider going to art school, like to have it as my profession. However, maybe I'm also glad right now in the position where I am at that I didn't do that. Like in 2021 and 2022, I really felt like I needed to express myself more with my art, that I was stuck in a day job and my art wasn't getting any reach. Like I was trying on Instagram a little bit, but I wasn't doing anything with my art, and I missed it, and I wanted to get myself and my art out there. And you know what happened in 2022? I started this channel. This is now my way to express myself creatively and get it out there. I think, yeah, if I could have a do-over and nothing would change in my life, I would listen to the people of the Lucas School of Arts. But only if nothing changes in my life. Because doing that, and I'm possibly going to art school, would entirely change the entire trajectory of my life. Because then I would not have met Dries. If nothing changes, then I would have loved to have gone to art school. But if going to art school meant that I didn't meet Dries, then I don't want to go to art school. Now a second do-over might be a little bit more serious, a little bit more emotional, and content warning, death, loss, that stuff. I wish I had more time with my grandmother. She has never consciously seen me do this spinning and do all this creative stuff with fiber art that I do now. She knows I knit and crochet and all the things because she taught me. When I got into spinning and like knitting with my own handspun yarn, she had dementia. So she has not actively lived that part of my life. In a couple of videos ago, I showed you those socks that I made in 2021. I actually made them for her, but she was already too far gone and she threw them away, so my mom rescued the socks and gave them back to me. I would have loved to have been able to talk to her about this, spin her yarn for her birthday. So maybe if I could have a do-over, I would have started all of this earlier. I would have started spinning earlier, because I know she would have been so proud. I know that she is proud, but I can't actively talk to her about it. I actually also didn't expect that I would get so emotional about it myself, because of course I rehearse everything that I want to say to you, and in my head it didn't sound as emotional. So I'm sorry, or I'm not sorry if you don't mind it. So yeah, my grandmom got dementia and died before I could talk to her about spinning and stuff, and I think she would have really loved it and I would have really loved it. I think this is starting to look a lot more consistent. However, I also think it's slightly thinner. Like, according to the grist calculator, this is still a bulky weight, but I think this is a bulkier weight. Like, I don't know if... Am I maybe too critical of myself? This is even noticeable, but I think these 3 strands are like thicker than these 3. It might not be entirely noticeable in the end product, but I must once again take care not to start spinning too thin. Because of course I want to use all of my skeins in one project, and then they better work together in one project. Yes, yeah. I don't know. Anyway, this was 100 meters for 160 grams, and this was about 158 meters for 150 grams. So yeah. Well, let's try and remedy that in our next bat. Now for a little bit more light-hearted philosophical question. If I had €1,000,000 and was only allowed to spend it on myself, my husband or my house, what would I do? All Dutch and Flemish people sing with me. Had je 10.000.000, wat zou jij dan doen? Een feestje bouwen en al je geld opdoen. I think the first thing I would do is rebuild the studio. I love the fact that I have a studio, but it's not ideal. Are we shooting now? What I would first do is give my husband a soundproofed space where he can do all his music and recording stuff, and then I would make a space with better lighting for myself that is also just cozier and gives more opportunity for whimsy. That's the first thing, but I don't think that will cost $1,000,000. So the second thing I would love to do, it is not this house, but like a little tiny house in the mountains somewhere in France. Maybe with a lot of land for some ships. What would you do if you got €1,000,000, dollars, whatever currency, and you could only spend it on yourself, your partner, or your house? I've done half a bet tonight. I'm going to call it a day. Now, before I'm actually going to go to bed, I want to check if I have something else that I can take with me to work to spin on my lunch break, because actually that was a lot of fun. So let's see in my baggies. Oh, I still have this from the Distaff Day exchange. Yeah, the Navajo churro. Maybe I'm going to spin the Navajo churro. It's a good idea, I think. And now it's really, I'll see you tomorrow. I might need to find another project for my lunch breaks. I had an optometrist or ophthalmologist appointment. I don't know which one of the two is the correct word for oogarts appointment today, and in the waiting room, and then later during my lunch break, yeah, I finished 18 meters of this Navajo churro. I'm going to admit I was not a fan of spinning it. I don't think this is entirely the fiber's fault. Firstly, I am just personally not a fan of the long, slick fibers. I am more of a give me all the short, crimpy fibers, the blocky, stocky stuff. Yes, the oomph, not the silk and the silky, smooth, long fibers. Really not my favorites. And of course, this is a very crimp-less long fiber. And secondly, I also think that the ply on the fly method was not a great option for it, because it doesn't want to be chain plied very much or very well. I don't know if I can show you, but like the chains are really, really obvious. I also had different expectations of this Navajo churro. Like, I thought, as it is a primitive breed, I would have a woolly undercoat and guard hairs. But this felt like guard hairs with guard hairs. So maybe my expectations were just wrong. Anyway, I am glad, however, that I have spun it, that I have experienced this fiber, and that I now know that I probably will not order more. I'm sorry, you're probably a really cool fiber, but just not something that I gravitate towards. I'm also sorry if Navajo churro is actually your favorite and you feel like I'm bashing it. I'm not. It's a really cool fiber. It's just not for me, and I think everyone has their own preferences, right? And my preference pretty much is zwartbles. And it's entirely okay if you try zwartbles and think, Jente, what you're telling is a load of bollock. I don't like this at all. But it seems that most people that try this after hearing me rave about it also like it. And one little addendum I want to make on that is, well, I think it's really cool that I have the power to influence so many people in buying a specific breed. I think my main goal was more love your local breeds. Like, I am loving my local breeds and showing my local breeds that they are worth it, that they are good breeds, that we should spin them. And it's really cool that you all over the world are buying zwartbles. But what would be even cooler is if you would start finding those breeds of your own region that might not get the recognition they deserve. Get your own zwartbles. if you get what I mean, not the actual zwartbles, but a sheep in your region that has super cool, super nice wool, but just isn't used for it. I know I'm going to get a hell of a lot Australians in my comment section saying, but all the sheep here are merino. I know this. Valid. I feel you, it's hard. If you already have such a favorite amongst your own local breeds that might not be well known enough, maybe the comment section is a place where everyone can discover new breeds from their own regions. So if you have such an unknown favorite, leave it down below and maybe other people can discover it as well. When looking at my fluff box, we're clearly not halfway, but this is in fact bat number 10 of the zwartbles. 10 bats of fluffy goodness. Oh, it's the other way around. We're not spinning fine, we're spinning bulky. Silly me. I think we're now at the same point on the bobbin where we started today, but then the second bobbin, of course. I think I'll finish this bat tomorrow morning, maybe also get a little bit of flying in. But for today, let's get started with editing. Let's also take a shower. For tomorrow, I'm just already going to say that I will not have much time to spin because I'm going to a friend's birthday party, and this time I cannot say that it is rude that the birthday party is during Tour de Fleece because I had the option to pick the dates myself. There was a poll when we wanted to do it. Maybe it was rude that that poll only included dates in July, but yeah, I kind of did have a say in it. I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. It is an inside session for a moment right now because the morning chills are still in the air. Now, I will get chased out of the studio by my husband and his brothers in like an hour and a half, so I hope by then we have some sun that has warmed the air. I do trust that you're all geniuses and have figured out yourself what the significance was of me stating yesterday that this is bat number 10. But for those of you who didn't follow along the entire Tour de Fleece series, it is significant that it is bat number 10 because there were only 9 Shetland bats. I have thus officially spun more, or well, I'm spinning more zwartbles bats than I have done for the Shetland. However, the meters are of course way lower because this is a bulky weight yarn and not a sport weight yarn as the zwartbles, the Shetland yarns were. There we go. That's also the 10th bat all spun up. Let's ply. Maybe I can get another skein before they actually chase me out of the studio. Yeah, would be nice. This cane is an astounding success. It is very lovely and consistent, even though the camera apparently just wants to show black, and it is a 151 meters for 140 grams, so it's closer, very much closer to the grist of the skeins that I spun in the beginning. It is more bulky. This is a very good skein. Look at it. My camera wants to show you the nice consistent yarn. Very good bulky yarn. It's only like 10 to 10 in the morning. We can start skein number 6. Yeah, we can. What's a Saturday vlog without my husband and his band making the background music? Husband actually singing. I think that might have been an extra thick bat. For sure, skein number 6 is going to be a game of bobbin chicken. I am already sure of this, just looking at this one bobbin, and I haven't even spun the second. I'm also not going to spin the second today. I'm going to end it for here. I think we are at a great point. We have 5 skeins of the zwartbles. This is my goal. This was my goal. I'm now inching my goal further, like 7 skeins. That would be ideal, I think. Then I am really certain that I can make the cardigan. Team Chaos Goblin, of course, also is at a lovely point with this many meters and this many yards. What a crazy bunch of spinners. Now, while my husband and his band are still jamming, I'm going to edit this vlog, and I will see you again on Wednesday for the final bit of Tour de Fleece. So if you want to see that, or in general just like these kind of fiber shenanigans, then maybe you could like, comment or subscribe, but of course it is all up to you. And as for me, I will see you in the next video. If you haven't checked out the rest of Tour de Fleece, here it is.